Hey, what's up, guys? What are you guys doing here? Raiding or something, huh? Cool. So I was here to ask you about your car's extended warranty. Oh, shit. Sorry, I forgot about that hand grenade, guys. My bad. What's up, guys? Lack of skills here, back again at it with another video. So, this here new video is about a different weapon. Some of you might or might not have seen the black knife build video that I did. Don't fret, I am working on a OP build that is viable. An actual OP build, no like cosplay memes, etc, etc. I'm gonna make an actual OP build. By the way, I hope you enjoyed that little intro, that was good fun. That. So this one is the Qatar. Now these are one weapon. Which is pretty much it's a punching weapon. This is again just a little fun build. As you can see, my character is very highly leveled because I'm in NG+. So it's all NG+, right? All the gameplay you will see, all the clips are NG+ as well. So if you're thinking like, yo, why is this boss so goddamn tanky? It's NG+. That is the explanation for that. So without further ado, let me just tell you why this weapon is fun. Mainly, it's quick, right? Like L1s. You don't have an L1, it's important to remember. It's dual wielded, but this is one weapon, right? So pressing L1 just gives you like this blocking shit. So you just spam R1 pretty much. And you have the strong attack with R2, the jump attack, etc, etc. You know how it works. So there's that. Now, it's important if you put an Ash of War on it, you get the option to make it keen. And what this means is that you get, it scales higher of dex. Usually the dex would be C, but for me it's B, right? So I get a little more damage because my character is very high on the dex department. He's very dexterous, you could say. Now, and as of course you need to bring fashion. This is the fashion. I call this the explosive Blademonk, which you might have guessed why it's called that in the intro. And well, you got the little punchy sticks over here. Now this armor set is the Night Maidens and the Nox Monk. And where you can get this is funny because you can get it right here where we are now. I'll show you how to get it, just to clear up any confusion, and then I'll tell you the exact locations of other stuff that I use or you could use. So you pretty much go in here, you see these dudes here, right? These monks. Well, you just walk up to one of them. Say what's good, bro. Put him on fire. Suck at the game because I'm not in range. Fine. Well, you can kill them, and these give you a chance that they drop this weapon. Now, of course, you can farm way more efficiently by just using the Sacred Relic Sword. Stand in the entrance and just use the weapon art. That's going to kill both of them. Backstab is pretty clean too. My fat old punch. Starts R2, and then run before you get squashed. Just killing this is pointless. So you just keep killing those enemies over and over again, and rest at the grace there. And that is how you get that armor set to drop. I almost dropped myself off the edge there. Big brain gamer, by the way. Professional YouTuber. Now, the other way, what is important to note is that this is a low drop chance, right? The drop chance is scaling of your item discovery. You know, what you can do is, if you have this talisman, this one, the Silver Scarab, this raises item discovery. And you can also use these, see if I have any of them. Yes, I have. The silver pickled foul foot. So you can use the foul foot and the amulet, and then you get a lot of higher item discovery, which is pretty helpful for farming. So with that out of the way, where do you get all the stuff? Now that is an interesting question. You can get the Qatar actually you can get it pretty early in Fort Gale. This is in Caleb, and it's in a treasure chest. So you open the chest and you get this. It's a pretty small location, and I do believe that it is actually, we are above it. See, it's right here. This is right here, Fort Gale. You can get this by going, you can get there from the First Church of Marika, but it's a bit weird because there's a bunch of rocks and shit in the way. So most likely you're gonna have to go from the smoldering wall, just go down and like go around the corner here to this place. You get it in this little area. Now the armor we talked about, you get that here, where we are now. This is the Knight's Sacred Ground in Nokron. To unlock this area you do have to kill General Radahn, mind you. Because else you cannot go here, because it's accessed via a massive hole in Limgrave. So else you can't go in here. So this is important to note, that you know that. And the weapon is very fun. Of course, it's fast. You know, it's good for PvP also. It's pretty quick, as you can see. The weapon art is just do this, right? It costs a bit of FP, but it's twofold, right? So you can just use this, and it doesn't cost barely anything. You see? If you look at the bar at the top left, I can just slam this. It costs barely anything. As soon as you hit through to put your blades on fire, it gets it costs a lot more. And to put your blades on fire, you simply tap R2 to use it. So you press L2, R2, and there you go. You now have fire damage, which is pretty good. But that is not the reason. There's better weapon arts, but why this is very good is if you use this on an enemy, it staggers them, and you will see this in the clips that I put in the video. You will see that this is very good because it staggers them. Like you just tap it, the enemy gets staggered, you follow up with an R2 and you get decent damage off, so it's definitely pretty helpful. That's mainly why I used it, because this weapon is all about being fast, right? So you want to be quick in R1s and in weapon arts, if you will. This is why I picked it. You can of course use different things if you want to do that, but well, the flask is of course the Big Bang. These are the cerulean cracked tears. These are not so hard to get. You can get these from the Earthly avatars. So you can see here they are called the ruptured, sorry, not cracked. They are called ruptured crystal tears. Causes an explosion. That's pretty much what it does. You drink it and you blow yourself up after ±4 seconds. You do take damage. It's important to note you do actually take damage when you drink this. So you can get the tears from the Earthly avatars in Liurnia of the Lakes and in the consecrated snowfield, which are two different trees. It's a little bit. It's more funny if anything. I wouldn't use it in actual PvP. If you use an actual PvP, you're more likely to kill yourself as opposed to kill anyone else. Although if it does hit, it does good damage. I think the explosion itself does about, like, let's say, I don't know, maybe like 900, 1000 damage to a player if they're in full armor. So it's pretty good. Like, if they're without Estus pretty much, right, they can't heal, you can just chug it and roll into them and blow them up that way. Like, because dodges don't really work. It's very hard to iframe this explosion. Which is why I think it does have some merit to use. The flask achievements are wholly up to you, honestly. I have a lot of mind, right? I'm 30 mind. So keep in mind in PvP your flask is halved, right? So you have 6 heals and 1 cerulean, so there's that. However, if you are not PvPing, I would just do it like this, 12-2. The 2 is good, you're never really gonna run out, of course, and you could use the summons. Like, there's a bunch of summons you could use. I would use Tiger. She's very strong, especially since they nerfed Mimic Tear. Mimic Tear got hit with a nerf hammer, so it's not as good anymore. Tiger is good because it dodges attacks as well. So I feel Tiger is always a valid option, honestly. I would always use this. Let me see. So I wrote all this down, right, because my memory doesn't exist, so I write everything down, as you guys might or might not know. The Ash of War, yeah, what I said earlier, the Ash of War is good. It's Flaming Strike is what it's called, right? 4 FP or 10 FP, I think, is what that means. I'm not quite sure what they mean by the numbers. I don't feel the numbers are accurate either, but that being put aside of what it is. You can get this Ash of War relatively early. I think this can be found, yeah, this can be found in Redmane Castle, which is the General Radahn area again, which is over here, right? Now keep in mind you can go to this area extremely early to Caelid. You can literally just go like up Storm Hill and just go here, go down to the thingy here, and you can get it there pretty early. It is dropped from a teardrop scarab behind the castle, so it's ideally the exact location's like over here. Right, which is, there's a bunch of angry birds there, so be careful. The birds will probably one-shot you if you try to get this on a low level, so keep that in mind. And now while the professional YouTuber is going to look at his notes, I'll put some clips here so you guys can enjoy the clips, see some of this wacky goodness, and then we'll move on. And we're back. Back with the my poor fucking commentary because I'm pretty new to this, so bear with me here, don't flame me in the comments. Lol. That being said, we're down to the talismans at this point, right? Now this is wholly up to you. You can use whatever you want, right? But if you want to play relatively safe, I'd say use these options. Personally, the thing is, like, I give you options, right? I'm not one of those people that's gonna tell you this build is the best or you have to use this, just get good. Like that's bullshit. In my opinion, that's fucking bullshit. Play how you want, right? I'm just gonna give you some options. If you think this is better or that is better, you're of course you're free to use whatever you want, right? This is just a small baseline of what you can use and what's good, pretty much. The Earthree's favorite is solid. This is good, just because it gives you HP, stam, right? Equip load, can't go wrong with that. Now the equip load obviously mine's through the roof. As you can see, it's 82.7 max because I have 30 endurance, so my equip load is through the roof. For most players, however, this will not be the case, so keep that in mind. Because you see my stats and you might think like, what? We don't need that. Like equip load's massive, right? True. But again, look at my stats. I'm level 266, right? It takes me like 620,000 runes to level up now. So that being said, the Earthree's favor, you can get this from Mog the Omen. This is a boss in the sewers in Lanedale. So this is so you go all the way up here, right? You have this the royal capital, then you have the underground stuff here. This is where the sewers start, and then you have to go through all the thing. So you come over here to the cathedral. That is where you find Mog the Omen. Now that area is very difficult to run through, but the reward is good because this is a pretty solid talisman that I would definitely recommend you use. Of course, the usual, the Dragon Crest Shield +2, which can be found in Farum Azula. That is a late game area, however, you are, well, you have to pretty much, unless you use Wrong Warp, you have to kill the Fire Giant boss in the Mountain of the Giants, or you can't even go there. So keep that in mind, this is a late game talisman, so most likely you won't be able to use this early. Same with this, the Pearl Drake talisman +2 can be found in the Halictri area. That is all the way up the top over here, where you fight Malenia, right? And I think it's found near the, let me see, near the prayer room, I want to say, somewhere over here, if I remember correctly, right? And then Farum Azula is over here. This is a endgame story driven area, if you will. But that's how you get those two, and then you can get the Blessed Dude talisman. This is good because it just restores HP, especially in PvP. If you run out of shit, you can use this, and it's good. Other options are, of course, the Green Turtle for stam recovery, the Viridian Amber. You can use the Sword Seals. You know, you can use. There's so much shit you can use. You can use the Twin Blades for chain attacks, right? That's what I'm saying. There's just so much options. You can use whatever you want. Really, it doesn't really matter. The last slot, yeah, that's what I said, the last slot, these three are pretty mandatory, I'd say, if you're trying to go into late game areas, because they give you so much prots, it's just ridiculous, like you take way less damage with all these on. The last one here is a flex spot, and a flex spot means you can use whatever you want. If you're PvPing, you can even use this, like the host trick mirror, right? You can become a cooperator, or you can become a host, or if you're really suicidal, you can use this. Shavrir's Woe constantly attracts enemies' aggression, so you can use that, like, it's completely up to you. So I said last piece is a flex spot. The Blessed talisman, however, can be found, I think, if I remember correctly, this can be found in Lanedale City as well. I think it's behind a stone imp. Now don't quote me on this, I could be wrong, because my dumbass forgot to take notes on this, so pro YouTuber by the way. Then we get to the Great Runes. I always just recommend using Godric's, simply because it gives you 5 points in every stat, right? Which is, if you look at this, you get the Vigor, Mind, Endurance, so everything gets +5. That's about 40 levels. You get 43 levels pretty much from using the Godric's Great Rune. Now mind you, you do have to use a Rune Arc to get this benefit. Another option could be the Mog's Great Rune, because this is good for PvP invasions, so you could use that. The Ashes, like I said earlier, I would just use TK honestly. Like, TK is OP as fuck. This is really, really good. Just because she dodges most attacks, she has high damage, she can stun certain enemies and bosses even. Like, TK can even knock Malenia over. If you're fighting Malenia, she can actually knock Malenia over. Which gives you, like, pretty much a free chance of doing a charged heavy or whatever else you try to do. Other good options are, let me see where they are because I have so many of them. Ancestral Follower. This is one of my favorites, honestly. I think he's really good. Despite I don't see anyone use him, but I do think he's really good. He's majorly tanky, or as someone you can get very early in the game, honestly. And he has ranged and melee attacks. So like if the enemy's far away, he will just use the bow to shoot him, and if the enemy gets close, he will pull out his massive axe and start beating their ass pretty much. It's pretty good. This is one of my favorites. And you can also use, where is that stuff? There's also another one that is very good. Banished Knight Oleg is a solid one for early. He's very strong also. Or you could look at the Mimic is still good, mind you. Like Mimic is not unusable anymore, but it isn't as good as it was. It got hit with the nerf hammer pretty hard, so keep that in mind. Now you have Ancient Dragon Knight Kristoff, he's pretty solid. These are all pretty late game though, right? Clean Rod Knight Finley is also pretty good. There's a bunch of good ones, honestly. It's more so like, what do you prefer, what do you like at this point? There's a lot of good ones. Well, and I think I've covered about everything there is to cover. If you do have any questions, ideas, thoughts, leave them in the comments. If there's any specific things you want to see, leave it in the comments. Don't roast me. I'm new to this whole commenting thing, so I'm very bad at it. I can't even follow my own script, lol. And that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that good shit. And enjoy the last clip. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.